Hey, everybody. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is a special edition. I just want to make that very clear. This is a special edition, Unfiltered, because we're talking about health again. And I know I spoke about this a few weeks ago, and I said that I would get on here and talk about all the things that I'm doing, go into detail why, what product am I using, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be very detailed with it. But first, let me just make sure I'm very clear on something. Number one, I am not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I am not some health expert that I'm telling you what you need to do. I'm not telling you what you need to take. I'm saying consult your doctor, consult your physician. Me personally, I have a wellness doctor that I go to. I do not use a regular primary care doctor anymore, only because I'm just not big into their viewpoints and what they push on you. And so I use a wellness doctor. Now, I will tell you, my wellness doctor is Dr. Jen Allen. I'm just going to give you some personal information over at New Family Freedom in Washington, Missouri. That's my doctor these days. Now, I haven't seen her very much because, well, I've been on this health journey, so I haven't had really anything to go and see her for. Although I've talked to her a couple of different times because they also do my hormone injections over there at the Well, which is right next to New Family Freedom. They're kind of affiliated with each other. And Kim Lowe oversees the Well, which does the hormone injections and some of the B complex shots and some of the other things that I've been interested in, IV bags, that kind of thing. But I've talked to them. And I've had many, many people asking me ever since the message, okay, what supplements are you taking? Where do you get your supplements from? How do you know what supplements to take? How do you know if they're good supplements? What are all the things that you're doing, basically? Where did you get your gene test? And what did that look like? And what does that tell you? So there's all these questions out there. And first, let me just say this. I'm just very excited that there are many of you that want to go on this journey. First and foremost, I think it's amazing. Remember, we got to have the spiritual why behind it. You don't just want to do this journey to lose weight or technically really just to be healthy. I think it's good. That's a great thing, is to be healthy. But we really want to do it because God tells us to honor our bodies. This is a temple of the Lord. We are to honor it and take care of it, steward it, just like we do everything else in life, our marriage, our kids, the bills, the money, and our health. Everything has to be stewarded, and that's my goal, is to help you understand that your body is a temple and that we are to steward it well. So let's get into some of these details. So we're going to show you some pictures of the supplements that I'm taking. We'll talk about where I got my gene test done and what all that looked like. But listen, another thing I want to make as a disclaimer, not only am I not a physician or a doctor or someone to give medical advice to, I am also wanting to make sure that the supplements where I purchase my supplements, you can purchase this from a source that you feel is necessary. You do not have to buy the same ones that I'm purchasing. I will tell you there are three brands out there that I look for, and then there's a reason why I look at those brands. The first reason is because they need to be GMP and they have to be third-party verified or certified. If you have those two main things, you want to make sure they're a reputable company, because you can buy supplements anywhere and they could just be full of fillers and junk, and it's really not helping you. So again, another area that is very difficult to balance is to find out, how do you know what's in the supplement? How do you know it's actually healthy for you? Those are all very good questions. This is why you got to research the company and hopefully you find a person that you trust that have also trusted somebody that they trust, and you know how that goes. So let's talk first gene test. The gene test, so I did mine through 10xhealth.com. Now, this was back in 2023. Gary Brecka was a part of 10X Health. He's the one that started that program. Grant Cardone at the time basically wrote him a blank check and said, we want to help you get the word out, because Gary Brecka helped Grant Cardone get healthy. But then in the last 3 to 4 months, some things have gone down in the organization with one of Grant Cardone's second in command. His name is, I think it's Brandon Dawson. And so he and Brecka had a different vision of what 10X Health was supposed to be. So that's when Gary Brecka stepped away from 10X Health, started his own thing called the Ultimate Human, which he's kind of already had, but he's now doing more with that, called the Ultimate Human. But Gary Brecka was a human biologist, or he is a human biologist. This is what he's done his whole career. And for 20 plus years, I think it was 20. I could be wrong on these dates, so don't hold me to it. You can go listen to Gary Brecka's story and you get the full deal. But basically, he worked for an insurance company where he would predict people's death. How long did they have to live? He did all this data. He looked at thousands and thousands of people's medical records, and he could pretty much, by his skill and all the information that he has, could pretty much predict people's death within 3 months. I think he could even say 30 days, but either way, that's how I got wind of Gary Brecka, of listening to him and listening to his podcast, and it was just so simple of what he was saying. And so I did the gene test through 10xhealth.com. Now, at the time, that gene test was $599. It still is $599 on that website. Now, the one they promote is the one that does your blood and your gene test, plus there's some other things that go along with it, and it's like $1,300. I'm not saying you can't do that one. I'm just saying what I did is I did the gene test through them, and then I did my blood work through The Well over in Washington through Kim Lowe, who is part of my health journey. She did those to help look at my levels of all my hormones and different things that I have to make sure everything is balanced. So you can do your gene test through whoever you want, whoever you can find. Now, Dr. Jen Allen at New Family Freedom, they do a gene test as well. You need to be a member of that facility in order for them to do that. I don't know what all that looks like. I am a member. That's my wife and I are members over there because she is our doctor. That is our doctor. We pay a monthly fee. We get to go see her for all the basic things for that monthly fee because we're trying to not go to the doctor as much as we can. That's the goal. So that's where you can get your gene test, okay? There's a couple different places. Would I still trust 10xhealth.com? Yes, I would still trust them. I think all the physicians and everybody that are behind the scenes doing all the work are doing it all for the right reasons. I don't think that has to come into play of anything that 10X Health is doing personally. Now, when you get your gene test done, it's going to send you a report. There are five genes that every single person has. I'm looking at my report right now. There is a gene called MTHFR. That's the one at the very bottom. Then you have the second one is MTR, and then it's MTRR, then it's ACHY, and then COMT. Those are the 5 genes you have. And then it'll actually tell you which genes are broken. If it's got 2, or mine, it might be different colored now because I know they changed the look of it. But mine, if it's red, that means 2 genes are broken. If it's yellow, that means 1 gene is broken. If it's green, you're good to go. Unfortunately, on mine, the MTHFR is probably the most common broken gene in all of humans. I believe it's like 40% of people are walking around with that broken gene. It's the most important one to get fixed, but it's also one of the easiest ones to fix. So that's the good news with it. It's an actual easy one to get fixed. So when you're listening to me talk about all these things that I've done, remember this. Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean that's what you need to be doing. These first 3 supplements from the gene test are for me specifically, okay? These are not things that I would say that you need to go do without getting a test done. You want to make sure you get a test done so you know if these are the ones that you are supposed to take. Granted, there is probably one of those supplements that I'm doing you most likely will be taking, especially if you have the MTHFR gene broken, and that is a 10X Optimize vitamin, which means it's a methylated multivitamin. I don't have all the right verbiage down to be telling you all of the details of this. Again, you can go to Gary Brecka, The Ultimate Human, listen to his podcast, and he will break this all down in a way that you can fully understand it. All I know is that it needs to be a methylated multivitamin because everything we ingest, it has to be able to break it down and put it into a usable form. And this is why we have these issues, is because we ingest things that our body was not created to actually make it into a form where you can excrete it out of your body. And so that's why we have all these health issues. So this actually is a methylated multivitamin. That was one of the 3 supplements. The other supplement is called TMG, and then the last one is MTHF. Now, they have these long words behind them. I can't even pronounce them. You can go Google them and look them up, and they will tell you all about them. But those are the 3 supplements that were recommended to me to fix the genes that I have going on with my body. Now, on top of that, there are other vitamins that I believe all of us could be taking. Now, whether you need them or not, I don't know, but there are definitely, to me, a big 3. There are 3 vitamins that every single human being could be taking, in my opinion. The first one is vitamin D3 with K2. What does this do? Well, this particular vitamin actually helps build your immune system, and it gives you healthier bones. It helps you not have osteoporosis. It is a prevention of your bones getting very brittle. You need vitamin D3 in order for that to happen. This also helps regulate your mood. So if you have mood swings, this will help regulate your moods. It'll help prevent depression. If you have depression, it is a immune support. It also has heart health. There's a lot that goes in also with Alzheimer's prevention and cognitive health. So it's an overall a very good vitamin that every human being, in my opinion, should and could be taking. That is vitamin D3 with K2. There should be a picture of that vitamin that you're looking at right now. I can't see what's on there, but I'm pretty sure there's a multivitamin on there by Sports Research. I think that's the name of the vitamin company, Sports Research. That's the one I use. Again, that's the one I found that seems to work very well product-wise. It's in a black bottle. A lot of my other vitamins are also in the same brand. I'll give you the other 2 brands that you can look for as well. But vitamin D3 with K2 is one of the main vitamins I take every single day. The next one is what would be called a vitamin B complex, or some of them can do B12 complex, which means there's a bunch of different B vitamins that actually help you in many different areas. But the B complex, specifically for me, helps grow of red blood cells, then helps my energy levels, it helps my eyesight, it helps brain function, it helps digestion, it helps with your appetite, it helps proper nerve function, it helps with hormones and cholesterol production, it gives you cardiovascular health, it helps with your muscle tone. It is an overall vitamin to help with all of these things. Now listen, I don't know about you, but just hearing me read those things, would you not want those things to be better in your life? You can do that by just taking a vitamin B complex. Now, I used to do an injection, a shot at the well. I like those injections. However, it's harder for me to get over to Washington, Missouri every week to get that shot. So I decided to go the vitamin route and swallow a pill to make it a little bit easier and more convenient for me to make sure I'm getting that in my system every single day. The third vitamin that I would highly recommend for every single person is omega-3 fish oil. Obviously, for me, this had everything to do with my heart. It helps lower your blood pressure. It helps lower your cholesterol. Not enough people eat fish to get the oil that they need in the omega-3. They don't eat a lot of avocados and things like that. And so you need that omega-3 fish oil vitamin to help you lower your blood pressure, keep your cholesterol low. It helps with a fatty liver. It prevents plaque buildup in your arteries. As you know, I did that plaque test several months ago. Actually, it was probably almost 6 or 7 months ago, and I have 0 plaque in my arteries. I'm not saying the fish oil had everything to do with it, but I'm just telling you I want it to stay that way. So in order for there to be no plaque in my arteries, I continue to take fish oil. On top of, I don't want to have high blood pressure. I want to have a good, healthy heart. Therefore, I take the fish oil. I do want to say this because I have a torn bicep in this right shoulder. And I went to the doctor the other day, and I did an MRI. And what was really interesting is when they were showing me all of my muscle, what little muscle I have, by the way, in my bicep, and in my chest, and then like kind of in the shoulder area, the tri. They showed me those muscles, and they were explaining to me, you see how dark that muscle is, and there's hardly any white around it? He goes, that tells us that you have a very healthy muscle. There's no fat at all around the muscle or in the muscle. He said a lot of people, you'll see a marbleized, just like a steak. A good lean steak is red, solid all the way through. That's what a filet looks like. But then you take a T-bone or ribeye and you see a lot of white in that with the red. That white is fat. Well, it's the same thing in your body. And when they showed me that MRI and they showed me there was no fat in my muscle, I was pretty happy about that, because that is one of the things that you want. He said you have very healthy bones. You have very healthy muscles. I basically have a torn bicep, which is a whole nother thing that I'm going to do, but we'll talk about that on another day. But I just wanted you to know, because that is exactly what I'm trying to achieve, is to have healthy muscles, have healthy bones, have a healthy immune system. I want to have a healthy heart. I want to have healthy blood flow. I want to have a healthy gut, because your gut is the big part. That's what that number one gene that's broken, MTHFR, that all has to do with your gut. And it makes everything else work in your body. And if you got that one off, you could just be a train wreck. Okay? Now, the other few things that I do are just things that I want to do, again, personally for me. One of the supplements I take is called berberine. Berberine. There should be a picture of it on the screen for you to look at. Berberine, I got wind of this because somebody told me, they said, oh, berberine's like the natural way of Ozempic, because everybody's doing Ozempic right now, or there's several other drugs like it. And I'm just telling you right now, if you're listening to this, Ozempic or any of those other quick fix things, injection shots, are not the best way to go. You want to try to do something that is definitely more natural. Now, I do understand they have a natural similar to Ozempic, a shot. Again, check with your health provider to see if that's something that you want to do. But berberine actually is a root. It comes from a root. And what this does for me is it lowers my blood sugar, because I would have this tendency of having I'd get the jitters, early in the morning, or if I need to eat a little something. And it also will help decrease your insulin resistance, making the blood sugar lowering, and it makes your hormone insulin more effective. It helps your body break down sugars inside the cells. It decreases sugar production in your liver. It slows the breakdown of carbohydrates in your gut. It increases the number of beneficial bacteria in your gut. It also decreases your total cholesterol, and it'll also, so it'll do your LDL, the bad cholesterol. It'll decrease that. It'll decrease your blood triglycerides, but it'll increase the good cholesterol, the HDL. So again, this is a very, very rounded type of vitamin. It's not really a vitamin. I call it a supplement called berberine. The reason why people are losing weight by taking berberine is because it lowers your blood sugar. It controls the insulin resistance to where if you have really bad habits of eating, your insulin levels are high. It tells you you're hungry, so you keep eating more. So this actually helps suppress the appetite by lowering the insulin in your body, which helps you in return. Instead of burning the wrong thing of sugar, you actually burn fat in your body. So again, I'm not a physician. These are just all the things that I've learned from the things that I've been doing, and I'm still learning them. I'm not even very knowledgeable about all of these things. That's why I say you approach what I'm telling you with caution, because I don't need a lawsuit because I've said what I'm doing and somebody goes and do it, and then you got some issue going on. Always consult with your physician. I'm going to probably say that 5 more times before this video's over. Let me tell you what else I found that berberine does. It actually helps with depression. They have 24 trusted sources that it actually helps with cancer. It helps with stress and inflammation. There have been a lot of studies that suggest it can reduce the growth of harmful microorganisms or infections in your body. It also will help reduce fatty liver. So again, you got fatty liver or you got fat around your liver, this will help reduce that. And of course, it helps prevent heart failure. So again, berberine overall has a very, very good result from all the things that I just talked about. So I do berberine. Let me backtrack a little bit. I do the 3 vitamins that 10X Health told me I needed to take for my genes to be to get my genes in correction, which is the 10X Health, TMG, the 10X Optimize, and the 10X 5-MTHF. Those are the first 3. I also take a vitamin D with K2. I take a vitamin B complex. I take an omega-3 fish oil. I take berberine. And then on top of that, I also take extra magnesium citrate. The citrate actually helps you sleep better. There's a glycinate magnesium as well. I believe there's actually 5 different magnesium. The citrate is probably the one that helps you sleep. The glycinate is the one kind of overall, but it'll help build your testosterone. It'll help enhance exercise recovery. It'll, again, help balance your mood. Now, my 10X Optimize has magnesium in it, but again, men need more magnesium, and so I just decided to take more magnesium. Now, I'm getting ready to get my blood drawn in March, and I will have them look at my magnesium levels to make sure I'm not eating too much or ingesting too much magnesium, because, again, there can be some side effects of having too much magnesium. So I do those, the magnesium as well. The last thing that I kind of do as far as, let's say, supplement-wise, is I do something called the Perfect Amino Powder. The Perfect Amino is basically a very, very good way to get protein in your body. So many people struggle with protein. I am not on a carnivore diet, by the way. A lot of people ask me, what diet are you on? I tell them I eat a similar diet to carnivore, but really it's just a whole foods diet, all right? Whole foods. Nothing pasteurized, nothing man-made. Everything is whole foods. Whatever God created and is grown in the ground naturally, whatever animals are out there. So any meat, fish, chicken, but not just any meat, fish, and chicken. It needs to be pasture-raised, farm-raised, cage-free chickens, cage-free eggs. Why? Because you want those animals eating the grass that God made to give you the nutrients that you need. Otherwise, we're going to be feeding them grain that man makes and puts in all kinds of chemicals into it. That's why we do a whole food, a base diet or lifestyle, which carnivore is a huge part of that because it's a lot of meat and a lot of fat. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But what the Perfect Amino Powder does is it actually gives you 1 scoop of Perfect Amino Powder gives you 30 grams of protein. Technically gives you 29 grams because the Perfect Amino actually gives you 99% of the protein that you're ingesting. For instance, if you do a whey protein or any of those other protein drinks that they sell you in stores and the supplement superstore and all that, you actually don't get, if it says 1 scoop is 50 grams of protein, you're not actually getting 50 grams of protein. You're only getting about 30 grams of protein because they have a lot of fillers inside of that. Perfect Amino allows you to get 99% of the protein into your body that you're intaking without any of the fillers. And the most important part for me is it does not break your fast. So I do a 16-8 fast. So I fast for 16 hours. I eat within an 8-hour window, fast for 16 hours, eat within an 8-hour window. And during that 16-hour fast, when I'm drinking black coffee and hydrogenated sea salt water, which again, I'll talk about in a minute, I also take 1 to 2 scoops of the Perfect Amino, and it won't break my fast. That's the beauty of it. So the days I work out, I do 1 scoop before the workout. I do 1 scoop after the workout. And then on regular days, I usually will do 1 scoop in the morning, usually in the first 30 minutes of my day. And then I'll do 1 scoop in the evening before or after my dinner to get an extra 30 grams of protein in the evening. So no matter what, I'm basically getting 60 grams of protein or 90 grams of protein just in that 1 drink every single day. That's half of what I actually need without eating all the other protein that you get. Plus, I'll make one more little statement about amino acids or protein. you don't actually get protein. You actually get an amino acid that actually is the baseline to create the protein in your body. So without amino acids, you don't get any protein. That is the builder of protein. So it's not like protein is a thing. It's the amino acids that you're eating that creates the protein. At least that's what I've been taught. If anybody wants to correct me, just go on the chat, go right ahead, and we'll communicate back and forth to each other. But the perfect amino is the other thing that I end up doing every single day, along with taking a pinch of Baja Gold sea salt. Now, I don't care what sea salt you get. Just don't use table salt. You can use Celtic sea salt. You can use Himalayan pink sea salt. There's other brands out there, lots of brands. The only difference in them is you just want to be careful of the metals that are in them. Where's the salt coming from? Because as you know, there's a lot of plastic and waste in the ocean. And depending on where that waste goes, if they're drawing that sea salt out, you'll get some of the wrong things in there, poisoning you instead of helping you. But according to my resources, Baja sea salt is one of the best. So I take a pinch of that, put it in this water bottle right here, called the Echo Go hydrogen water bottle. This hydrogen water is created. You just hit this button right here. It starts creating the hydrogen in there. I take it out. I pour it into another glass with my pinch of sea salt in there. And just about every glass of water I drink has a pinch of sea salt in it. That way I'm getting the proper amount of sea salt in my body, the nutrients, the minerals. It has a lot of minerals. I believe the number is like 90 different minerals in that sea salt that your body needs. If there is nothing else you do, if you do none of these other supplements, the one thing you can do that's really easy is the sea salt. You can buy like a 25-pound bag of that sea salt. It'll last you probably 10 years. You don't need that much. I'm just giving you, it's very, very inexpensive to do. I think I bought a bag of it for $12, maybe $20, and I guarantee you that'll last me a year, maybe longer. So it doesn't cost that much money to do, but it does your body really good. Trust me. I want to say this about supplementing. A lot of people supplement for the sake of supplementing. So they just take all these supplements because they heard it was good for you, and they just supplement for the sake of supplementing. What I want you to do is supplement for the deficiency that your body has. That's why you go get tested. You want to supplement for the deficiency. So don't just take a bunch of supplements just to supplement. You want to take supplements that your body is deficient in first. Then you can add some of the basics that I just spoke about. The big three is what I said, the vitamin D3 with K2, the fish oil, and the B complex. Those are the big three I believe everybody can take. Berberine is extra. The extra magnesium is extra. The perfect amino is something that everybody can do no matter what. That's not really a supplement. That's just something added to your diet. Those are the supplements that I do. I hope this is helping somebody because now I want to jump into the foods that I eat because I told you I don't do a strict carnivore diet, but I do a whole food diet. So I eat lots of steak, lots of hamburger, lots of chicken. I eat sweet potatoes. Now, when you eat a sweet potato, here's what's cool about this. I used to be, I'm a sweet eater. I love sweets. And I used to have my sweet potatoes sweetened with brown sugar. Now, I would never put the marshmallow on it, or I don't know what else they put on it. You know, you go and get your sweet potato loaded. The only thing I would get is brown sugar because I liked it to be sweet. But ever since I pretty much eliminated the majority of sugar out of my diet, the majority of sugar, not all sugar, because fruits have sugar, certain meats have sugar, processed things have sugar. We try not to get, it's all natural, coconut sugar, cane sugar, things like that. So I don't have all sugar out of my body, but when I started eliminating most processed sugar, the sweet potato by itself became sweet. Hence the word sweet potato. You take a regular baked potato, it's not sweet, but it's also not called a sweet potato. So now that I've eradicated all that processed sugar out of my body, the sweet potato is amazing tasting by itself. The only thing I put on it is butter. I don't just put any butter on it. It has to be raw butter. You can do Kerrygold butter, which is a very good raw butter you can buy from the store. What we do is we do Amish butter. So we buy homemade butter by the Amish that is local. And it's a little more expensive, but it's actually cheaper to buy like that than make it yourself, because Erin was making it herself. And by the time she'd get all the stuff that it was to make it and the time it took to make it, it was just more convenient for us to buy it from someone else who's making bigger vats of that butter. So I do the sweet potatoes. I eat at least one avocado a day, sometimes two, because it has very good healthy fats in it. I eat at least 4 eggs a day, sometimes 6, but I try to have a couple at lunch, hard-boiled eggs, and then I have a couple for dinner, whether that's hard-boiled, whether that's over easy. And please, can I just tell you, you want your yolk runny? That's the best way to eat it. Some of you have a hard time with that. I understand it, but it's really good for you to have that yolk. A lot of people try to not eat the yolk. I encourage you to eat the yolk because it's very healthy for you. Don't listen to all those other people out there to say, oh, eggs give you cholesterol. Yeah, it does have cholesterol, but it's the kind of cholesterol you need, not the stuff you want to keep away from. So I eat a lot of eggs. I eat, for snacks, I have a beef stick, the good kind of beef stick. I couldn't even tell you some of the brands nowadays, but there's 2 specific beef sticks or beef jerky, so to speak, that I eat. One is Chomp. It's in a red package, CHOMP. Or the other one I do is in a green package called Mission Meats. Those are grass-fed, have like 3 ingredients in the whole beef stick. Very healthy for you, very good for you, lots of protein. So I'll eat a beef stick. I drink 2 liters of water per day, which is about 112 ounces a day. I use the sea salt in there. And I did want to say this about the sea salt, because I didn't say this earlier, but did you know that 90% of Americans that are over the age of 55, that they are so dehydrated that they no longer have a sensation for thirst? I learned that statistic listening to Garrett Brecka, by the way. So he was saying how a pinch of sea salt can help hydronate you to a place to where you're not dehydrated. You never want to get to a place where you're so dehydrated that you have no sensation for drinking water. Well, I'll just tell you right now, I was that person at the age of 40. I never drank water. I was so dehydrated that I never had any thirst for water. I got my water through coffee and soda and tea or whatever drink I was drinking other than plain water. Those days are over. Remember, I've been doing this now for 14 months. Actually, it's been a little longer than that. October, it'd be 12, 13, it'd be 16 months technically, is when I started all this. However, doesn't matter. You got to start somewhere. Now, I'm trying to look at my notes to see what else I'm missing here. Sea salt, I eat something called a protein bar made by the same company that does the Perfect Amino powder. This protein bar is just a snack. It's very good for your kids to eat. It's called a Perfect Amino bar, and they have 3 different flavors. I know they have a brownie flavor. I don't know what the flavors are, actually. I know brownie's one of them because I eat that one. But they have these 3 different flavors, and I usually do the variety pack to make it easier. I just had them send me 3 boxes of them. You get 12 in each box, so you get 36 total. I'll eat these maybe if I'm not wanting to eat lunch or I'm on the go and I don't want to stop and eat fast food or stop and get a slow roller at Quick Trip. You keep one of these protein bars with you, the Perfect Amino. You eat it, has all the healthy things in it, and it gives you the protein that you need so you're not starving. Now, it doesn't necessarily replace an entire meal, but for me, I could eat one of these for lunch, and can be okay till dinner. That's how much it fills me up. Doesn't mean that I'm not hungry 2-3 hours later. Sure, I feel hunger a little bit, but not enough that I have to eat something else. This is why I like them. And they taste really good. It's not like your typical protein bar that you eat and you got to cram down and just drink water after every bite because they're so nasty. These are very, very tasting good. So I would highly recommend those for a snack, especially if your kids want a candy bar. Just give them one of those bars. It'd be a lot better. So these are just some of the things that I do. I had some other things written down here. I'm trying to read this. I want to give you one example of why I'm staying away from modern medication and doctors that all they want to do is prescribe you medication. For one, I just believe that the world we live in today, doctors, big pharma, and our old government, that they want to keep us sick. They want us to be sick, so we'll be reliant on these drugs that cost us millions of dollars. Or, well, it doesn't cost us millions. It costs us thousands of dollars a year. But it does end up costing us millions of dollars because everybody's insurance have skyrocketed because everybody's on all this medication that costs millions and millions of dollars. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They don't want you healthy. They want you sick because they're making tons of money on it. This is why I struggle going to a doctor that the first thing they want to do is put you on a medication and not really look at the root cause of what it is you're going through. This is what I learned recently about thyroid issues. A lot of people have thyroid issues. And what you need to know about a thyroid, I know a little bit about it. Here's what I know. Your thyroid actually produces two different kinds of hormones. They produce a T4 and a T3. If you are low in a T3, the first thing your doctor wants to do is put you on thyroid medication. But here's the interesting thing. The truth is that only 20% of the T3 hormone is produced by the thyroid. I want to say that again. Only 20% of the hormone T3 is produced by the thyroid, but yet 80 or 90% of the time, your doctor wants to put you and give you thyroid medicine to fix what is only 20% chance. You have an 80% chance of having a better, of something else going wrong than it actually needing the thyroid medication. Isn't that crazy? So that means that 80% comes from a conversion of the T4 that happens outside of the thyroid. So instead of actually looking to see what that thing can be, they just give you thyroid medication, which then in return messes up many other things. I just want to give you that one simple example. And there are supplements that you can take, okay, that can help you replace the T3 hormone that you need. It's just one example. Not to mention, whenever you look at, if you are a mom out there, or you're a woman seeking to be pregnant, or you're a mom wanting to have a second or third child, go look up Gary Brecka's information on prenatal care. There are so many women that have postpartum depression after childbirth because of certain vitamins that the prenatal vitamin that their doctor pushes them to take actually creates more depression in your body than doing it a different way. And I don't know enough about it to tell you, but I do know enough about it to tell you to go listen to him if you are a mom and get information on that, because I know many people personally that go through this that I said, listen, you need to go to this guy and listen to him. Again, he's not a physician, he's not a doctor, but he is a human biologist, and what he knows is how your body works. As a matter of fact, I want to show you, if we have that chart, I want you to look at this chart right here. At first, when I saw this chart, I thought, this is how to understand a woman. I really did. I'm only kidding, by the way. This is how complicated it is. And it's not how to understand a woman, although it kind of looks that way. This is a chart of how your 5 genes, you can see them up there at the top, how they break down all the things in your body to make your body work. This is right off, you can go right off a website and get this. Now, I can't read any of this. I know nothing about this chart. All I know is when you look at this chart, you will not find one man-made item that will fix whatever is going on in your body. The only thing you're going to find on this chart are the minerals that God gave us to fix and make our bodies work the way they were intended to work. Now, this is above my head, and I guarantee you it's above your head as well, unless you're a human biologist or somebody that knows the medical world. But I'm just going to tell you right now, when you look at this chart, it actually shows you how our body works behind the scenes. And it's done through the simplicity of minerals that God gave us that we should be taking in our body, and stop ingesting things that man is making. This is not just to tell people that they're overweight or they're fat or obese. No, that is not at all what this is about for me. This is about us being healthy. This is about you being around a long time, functioning at a higher capacity than what you are right now. Most people are walking around at about 40% capacity, which is not very good. Think about that. If you have a battery that's only at 40% capacity all the time, that's not good. We want to be operating as high as we can. I want to try to operate at 80 or 90%, and I think I can do it by doing the things that I've been telling you today. They're simple things. I didn't even start exercising until 1 year after I started doing all these supplements and changing my diet, because I wanted to make sure it worked, number one. And number two, I wanted to make sure that I could sustain what I was doing, especially before I'm talking to all of you. Now, what do? Exercise-wise, I literally keep it real simple. I work out for about 45 minutes, 3 days a week. And every once in a while, I'm trying to get to the place where I'm actually doing just a walk or a jog on the other 2 days. I walk and jog, walk and run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then on Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes on Sunday mornings, even before I come and speak, I will do a 2-mile run or a 2-mile run, walk, whatever. I mix it up. I enjoy running. That's why it doesn't bother me to run. I'll tell you this, what is better for you is to do a walk, a more rigorous walk, uphill, at a faster pace. You're going to burn more calories. It's going to be better for your health than it is running. I like to run, so I run. That's my exercise of choice. And then I do minimal weight lifting right now. One, I have a bad shoulder, therefore I can't do lots of weights right now. Once my shoulder gets fixed, I'll probably pick up the weights a little bit more. But I do the simple things: bench press, I do curls, I do a pull down, I do triceps, whatever that looks like. I work my core, so I'm working my abs. I work my legs a little bit. I do very generic exercises. I probably only do about 6 or 7 exercises 3 times a week on top of the running and walking, just to stay active, just to make sure that I'm not losing muscle but gaining muscle. I'm not looking to be a bodybuilder. I'm not looking to be all big and buff, and it's just not who I am. It's not what I want to be. I would rather be cut and fit and healthy and lean and have no fat in my body. The least amount of fat I can have is my goal, and be healthy. That's my ultimate goal. So I don't know what else to tell you other than you can do it, and we can do it together. And I'll answer any questions you may have. I'll send you to anybody that you need that may be able to help you. You can call Kim Lowe at The Well. You can call Dr. Jen Allen over at New Family Freedom. You can go to Gary Brecka and listen to him. You can listen to Paul Saldino. He's another great, he is a doctor, and he's a little out there. He does things that I don't do, but he'll also tell you it's no big deal. Like he doesn't eat any kind of nut at all. I eat cashews. He won't eat nuts. They bother his stomach. He doesn't eat vegetables. I do. And he doesn't tell you shouldn't. He just says if it hurts your gut, don't do it. So he's a little more out there. He eats all the organs of the animals, the livers, the heart, the tongue. He eats all of it because he says it's very healthy for you. I don't do that. It's just not my thing. But he's another one you can go follow because he's very, very informational. Dr. Living Good is another one that I hear a lot of really good things about, and I've followed before in the past. Find somebody. I'll tell you another one, Dr. Naputi in St. Louis. We went to him early on, and that's kind of really 2 years ago. We started with Dr. Naputi, but he's so far up into St. Louis, it was very hard to go up there frequently. But I love Dr. Naputi. I think he does great work, and he is on the same lines as Gary Brecka and the rest of us, Kim Lowe out in Washington. I mean, we're just all here to try to be healthier. That is the goal. Now, let me say this. Kim Lowe, Dr. Jen Allen, Naputi, Brecca, Saldino, none of them know that I'm name dropping them right now. So I'm a little worried that if you overwhelm them, I don't know what's going to come of that. But I would just say, hey, Pastor Jason at Roots Church recommended me come talk to you. That's all you got to say. I get nothing from it. I don't want nothing from it. All I want is for you to be healthy. I want for you to get good advice from somebody who knows exactly what you need. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you need to take. What I do know for sure is you do need to be healthy. And in order to get healthy, you need to get a gene test. In order for you to be healthy, you need to get your blood work done so you know where you're at, know where your deficiencies are. What I do know is you probably need to eat better. What I do know is you most likely need to do some type of exercise. Those are things that you can start doing, and we can do it together. This is in for the long haul. Remember, we're running a race, and I want to run every step with purpose. I want to train my body to do what it was trained to do. I want to train my body to fight the diseases and the viruses and all the illness out there that it's trained to do, that it was created to do on its own, so I'm not running to the doctor and getting a shot or getting some, what's the word I'm looking for? The medication, I can't think of the word, I'm drawing a blank, like penicillin. Either way, I'm drawing a blank. That's why it's really hard to be in the studio by yourself, because when you got other people, they can help you. But I want to do it more naturally. But I also want to use wisdom. If I have to go to the doctor to get more, I will. I'm not going to be stupid about it. But at the same time, if I'm preparing my body in advance, pre-deciding that I want to be healthy, then when things come my direction, my body will fight it off way easier and way quicker, where I'm not in the doctor's office every time you turn around. You can't prevent injuries from happening, okay? You can to a degree, I guess. If your bones are strong and your muscles are in good shape, then that can help prevent an injury. But if you get in a car accident and you break your leg or you break your neck, you got to go to a doctor, all right, and get the things that you need. There's no doubt about that. I don't want anybody to think that I'm against doctors. I'm not. I'm just against doctors that only want to prescribe medication to suffice the problem instead of actually fixing it. That's where I'm at. All right. I don't think I have anything else. I think I've given you all the information I have. I think one thing I will tell you, we in the description of this podcast, we will put a link to every single thing that I mentioned today. All the vitamins, the Perfect Amino, the Baja Sea Salt Gold. We'll even put Gary Brecca's a link on there for the Ultimate Human. I will see if we can put Paul Saldino. I think that's how you say it, Paul Saldino. We'll also link the Well and New Family Freedom on there, at least the information for you to call and get all the information you need to do what it is that you want to do. And if you got any more questions, put it in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer everything I can. And if I don't have the answer, I'll get it for you. Listen, guys, let's make 2025 the year that we become healthy. Let's reset, get all that crap out of our system, and let's get healthy for 2025. Why? So we can take care of the temple that God gave us. I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.